Hello friends, myself Yojna Pudale, Assistant Professor from Padma Bhushan Vasantrao Dada Patil Institute of Technology Budgaon. In last lecture series, we have started the point that is fluid properties, from which we have completed the fluid properties, that is density, specific weight, specific volume, specific gravity and viscosity in last lecture. So, in this lecture, we are discussing the fluid properties, that is compressibility and surface tension. So, first property, that is the compressibility. What is mean by compressibility? All materials, whether solids or fluids are having two forms, that is liquids and gases, can change the shape under application of external force or stress. Means when we are applying the external force or stress to the solid or fluids, they can change their shape, means there is a deformation. So in case of fluid, the force is generally termed as pressure, as it is uniform from all the directions. Means in case of the fluid, we are representing the force by pressure. But how do we judge the solid or fluid is susceptible to change in volume upon application of forces or pressure? So in simple words, the compressibility is nothing but the measure of change in volume of fluid under the effect of force or pressure or stress. Means after application of any kind of force, or it may be pressure or stress, there is a change in volume, and measure of change in the volume of that fluid is called as compressibility. Similarly, it is represented as a reciprocal of bulk modulus of elasticity, which is represented by letter K. So, modulus of elasticity is defined as the ratio of compressive stress to the volumetric strain. Means when we are applying the compressive force, there is a compressive stress, that is resistance to the applied compressive force, and due to the application of compressive force, there is a change in volume of that particular fluid, and that change in volume upon original volume is represented by volumetric strain. So here the bulk modulus of elasticity is the ratio of compressive stress to the volumetric strain, and compressibility, it is the reciprocal of bulk modulus of elasticity. So for deriving the equation for compressibility, we have to consider a cylinder fitted with the piston as shown in figure. This diagram shows the piston, and this is the cylinder which is having gas enclosed. So V is the volume of gas enclosed in the cylinder at initial stage, and P is the pressure of gas when volume is V. Means this is the volume at initial stage, and the pressure of gas at initial stage we are representing that by capital letter P. When we are applying the pressure or force on this piston, and there is a movement of this piston, due to the movement of this piston, the volume of gas will be decreased, and final volume, it is shown by the dotted lines here. So due to the piston movement, pressure increases and volume decreases. Pressure increases and volume of the gas will be decreases. So the increased pressure is represented by dP, and decreased volume is represented by dV here. So the pressure increased to P plus dP, initial pressure is P, and we are adding the increased pressure, that is dP here. So total pressure increase is represented by P plus dP, and total volume of gas decreased is represented by V minus dV, where V is the initial volume and dV is nothing but the decreased volume. So the definition of volumetric strain is that change in volume upon original volume. So change in volume, that is nothing but the dV, and original volume is V. So here it is negative sign. That negative sign means the volume decreases with increase in pressure. Means when we increase the pressure, there is a decrease in volume of that gas. So the definition of bulk modulus, that is represented by K, that is equal to increase of pressure upon volumetric strain. The increase in pressure is represented by dP and the volumetric strain is nothing but the change in volume upon original volume, that is minus, that is dV by V. So here it is minus sign. So the equation becomes K is equal to minus dP by dV into V, and this is the formula for calculating the bulk modulus. And as we know, the compressibility is the reciprocal of bulk modulus, that is 1 upon K. So for calculating the compressibility, the equation becomes 1 upon K is equal to minus dV divided by dP into V. This is the equation for calculating the compressibility of the fluid, and the unit of the compressibility is Newton per meter square. Next property, that is surface tension. How it can be defined? It is defined as the tensile force acting on the surface of a liquid in contact with gas, or on the surface between two immiscible liquids, such that the contact surface behaves like a membrane under the tension. In first case, it is tensile force acting on the surface of a liquid in contact with gas. Means when one liquid is in contact with gas, in that case the tensile force acting on that surface of the liquid is nothing but the surface tension, or on the surface between two immiscible liquids. Means when we are taking the two liquids which are not mixing in each other, these are called as the immiscible liquid. In that case, the surface between these two immiscible liquids, like which acts like a membrane under the tension. Means at that surface there is a tensile force, and that tensile force is nothing but the surface tension. The magnitude of this force, that is surface tension, per unit length of free surface will have same value as the surface energy per unit area. Means these two values are same, that is surface tension per unit length and surface energy per unit area. And the surface tension is denoted by letter sigma, and it is having the unit, that is SI unit, Newton per meter. So for studying the phenomenon of surface tension, the diagram shows three molecules of liquid. First one, that is A, second, that is B, and third, that is C. So the molecule A is completely in the liquid. It is attracted in all directions equally by the surrounding molecules of the liquid. So the resultant force acting on the molecules is 0. Means on molecule A there is a equal and opposite forces in all directions. So the resultant force is 0. So here the value of surface tension is 0. Similarly, the molecule B is situated near the free surface, is acted upon by upward and downward forces which are unbalanced. See here, the B is molecule which is near to the free surface. So the forces are unbalanced some forces from these molecules are unbalanced. So the net resultant force on the molecule B is acting in the downward direction because most of the part it is in liquid and small part of this molecule that is in contact with air. Then third molecule C situated on the free surface of the liquid which is partially in liquid from bottom side and come in contact with other fluid molecules or air from the top side. Means half molecule that is in contact with liquid and half molecule that is in contact with air. So due to this experience, downward resultant force, there is a downward resultant force and which is greater, that is resultant force acting on the B molecule, means there is a surface tension. These three molecules shows the surface tension phenomenon here. The surface tension is calculated for the water droplet, then for bubble and for the liquid jet. So first we will discuss the surface tension on water droplet. Here the first diagram shows the total water droplet, and for calculating the surface tension we have to cut that droplet into two halves. That is, here the arrow shows the surface tensile force which is acting away from that surface, and here sigma, that notation is used for the surface tension. Then P is the pressure intensity inside the droplet, means inside the droplet there is a liquid, that is water, and the intensity of that water pressure is represented by P, and the diameter of this water droplet, it is represented by small letter d. The forces acting on the half part of the droplet, we have to consider here the surface tension force that is acting away from the surface, and second force that is nothing but the water pressure force. As we know, for equilibrium these two forces should be equal and opposite. So first we are calculating the surface tension force, that is tensile force due to surface tension, and that is acting on the circumference of the circle. That force is acting on the circumference of the circle. So circumference is calculated by pi into d, and the intensity of surface tension is sigma. So sigma into pi d, that is the tensile force due to the surface tension, and second force that is the water pressure, and that water pressure is acting on the total area of this water droplet. So it is circular, so the area of water droplet is calculated by the formula pi by 4 into d square, and the intensity of water pressure is represented by P. So P into pi by 4 into d square, that is the water pressure force on the area. So for equilibrium these two forces are equal and opposite. So equating these two forces, that is sigma into pi d is equal to P into pi by 4 into d square. From this we get the equation for calculating the pressure, that is P is equal to 4 sigma by d, or we can rearrange the terms and we can calculate the value of sigma, that is sigma is equal to P into d divided by 4. This is the case of surface tension on water droplet. So here the second case, that is surface tension on hollow bubble. As discussed earlier, the sigma is surface tension, P is the water pressure intensity inside the droplet, and small d, that is nothing but the diameter of droplet. So hollow bubble has two surfaces in contact with air, means inside surface as well as outside surface that is in contact with air. So the value of surface tension, you have to multiply it by 2 because the surface tension is acting on outside surface as well as on inside surface. So we have to multiply the tensile force due to surface tension by 2. So 2 times sigma into circumference, and circumference is nothing but the pi d. So the total tensile force due to surface tension becomes 2 into sigma into pi d. And the value of water pressure, again it is same because it is acting on the total circular area, and intensity of pressure is represented by P. So P into pi by 4 into d square. Again for the equilibrium we are equating these two equations and we get the formula for calculating the pressure as P is equal to 8 sigma by D, or we can calculate the value of sigma by P into D by 8. Then third condition, that is surface tension on liquid jet. The diagram shows the liquid jet having diameter d and length L, and again the liquid jet is cut into two parts. That is here the arrow shows the sigma, that is nothing but the surface tension, which is acting on the length of this total liquid jet, that is along the length of the liquid jet. So the tensile force due to surface tension is equal to sigma into 2 times length, because we are considering the length, this length and this length, means it is 2 times length, and the intensity of surface tension is sigma. And the second force, that is nothing but the water pressure force, and that water pressure is acting on the this rectangular section, means this rectangular section which includes the water. So the water pressure is acting on this rectangular section, and the area of this rectangular section is calculated by, this is the diameter, this horizontal, that is the diameter, and this vertical line shows the length. So L into D, that is the area of rectangular section, and on that rectangular section the pressure force is acting, that is water pressure. So P into L into D, that is nothing but the water pressure force. Again for the equilibrium condition we have to equate these two equations and we get the equation for pressure calculation, that is 2 sigma by D, or we can calculate the surface tension by PD by 2. So this lecture is limited to the compressibility and surface tension property. In next lecture we will discuss the remaining properties of the fluids. Thank you.